Welcome back, our dear viewers. Of course, we are going to tackle a very interesting topic and a new topic, which is the branding of the nations. Why do we brand a nation, and to what extent this branding could be a positive or a negative influence, or it gives a positive or negative impact on the marketing of that nation on the political, economic, and touristic and cultural levels. What is the country branding? That would be our topic of discussion in today's edition of our show with our dear guest in the studio, Ms. Nehal Ashqar. She is a political communication researcher. Good morning, Ms. Nehal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So first, let's tell our audience what is meant by nation branding.
Okay. The nation branding has a very common relation between a country. There is a common relation between country branding and soft branding and soft diplomacy. Country branding was a very interesting topic for the political research recently, because it has a very good impact on the investment in tourism sector. The prestige of the country makes the country in a very good rank, so that it can get more investors and more investments and get more tourism and tourists for the tourism sector. The country prestige is a very interesting topic, and it's very rich topic.
Yes.
It's very common. It's very common. It's like a very old one from the past. Egypt is not like started it from the scratch. It started the country branding this year. After the 2013, it started the country branding, and it has been started a long time ago, since like Nasser era, because it has a very common relation between it and the culture and the media and the films, movies, and those kind of
yes. Things. To start with, Ms. Nehal, you have picked this topic to be the subject of your studies and your postgraduate studies. Can you elaborate more about your choice? Why did you feel that this particular subject would make a difference, and that you would like to elaborate more on studying that topic of branding the nation?
Okay. When I went, I had my master's degree in UK, in Cardiff University, and when I went there, I found that all the people are speaking a lot about Mohammed Salah and his influence on the Egyptian culture, and how the people are so influenced about our culture. When anyone knows that I'm Egyptian, they ask me to say hi to Mohammed Salah and things like that. So I felt that it's something very important that the country...
So do you believe that here it's somehow a sort of branding as well, that we do have some figures, international figures, or they are somehow ambassadors to our country, not on the diplomatic level, but on the social and people's level?
Yeah, one of the things, one of my recommendations is focusing on the human resources and how important the human resources are, because when I looked at Mohammed Salah, Farouk Al-Baz, and what happened recently in the astrology,
course.
They launched an astron called Farouk Al-Baz, and also Mohammed Salah. I felt that we have a lot of resources, and we don't look for them. We are focusing on like things that it's not that important, that has the same importance as the human resources and other sources for branding and like soft power.
Yep.
I had a good friend. She's from Emirates. And I found that she's influenced with the Egyptian culture and the media and our films and movies. Yeah. That made me like think why did we retreated that days, and why we are not in the same position as we used to be.
So Nehal, tell us to what extent soft powers can affect nation branding?
Okay, soft power is something can influence the countries. Like the media, as I said before, the Hollywood movies. So everyone has an American dream because of the Hollywood and because of watching the English movies and the language of the American movies. So nowadays countries are not occupying other countries with the hard power. They are not occupying them with equipments and putting like equipments on the ground. They are influencing them by the language. They are influencing them by the media. They are influencing them by the songs and everything, all the culture, all the type of cultures, even the food, or mainly the language. So soft power has a very huge influence and very huge impact on this.
Ms. Nehal, how can the soft power, from your own point of view and from your studies as well, influence the national branding? To what extent we can use that in order to brand our country?
Okay, first of all, we have to introduce the meaning of soft power. The soft power is the media, is the diplomacy, is the passport, is the sports. The sports.
Yeah.
So that's the question again, please.
How can we use this in branding our country?
Okay, so using the media, because when I was there, I couldn't find that we have a media that spoke about on ourselves, spoke about ourselves. We always try to find other resources. We don't have international media, so we have to focus more on the media and to focus more on how the media is so important to speak about ourselves in their language. We are speaking in our language to ourselves inside the country, and we are not focusing on our image outside.
Yeah.
So this is a very important thing. And the other thing is the media. We have like a very long history with the films and movies and songs, and nowadays we don't have any influence. I couldn't find that people are still like searching for our language or searching for our films and movies to vote. We retreated in that field law. I think that it's the Mohammed Salah recently is the only one who's like making a lot of propaganda for the country, and there are a lot of researchers that said that Mohammed Salah, the speeches, the anti-Islamic speeches and the Twitter tweets, the tweets on the Twitter retreated against Islam because of Mohammed Salah.
So how is nation branding related to attracting investments?
Investments?
Yes.
Okay. When the country has a very high rank, the investors come to the country because of its power, because of its rank all over the world, because of its human resources and the benefits that they will get or they will gain because of the country or because of the rank of the country. So they are very related to each other. They have a very common relation between each other. The investments, like whenever you have a lot of money and you want to invest, you will search for a very good place that have a lot of resources and human resources, or an open market to get the people to buy from you or to use your service, and you can get the money back. So any investor will think like that. The rank of the country will make the investors invest the power of the country, the rank of the country, the constitution, the power of the constitution, and things like that.
Yes. Ms. Nehal, how a country can get a positive ranking or a negative ranking? What are the main causes for that?
The reason that the country can get a positive ranking is its position all over the world. In one of my recommendations, we have to use the power of the passport, the country prestige. Whenever you have like loyalty to your country, you will have it because of the power of your country, because how the country can protect you and how much benefits can you get from the country, from your country.
Yeah,
from the rank of the country can be like I forgot the question again.
How a country could get a positive or negative branding due to which reasons here?
Okay, so I told you before the positive thing of the country branding. The negative thing are the fake news.
Yeah.
And I think we are living this now.
Yes. Do you believe that rumors actually could be a main reason for a negative branding for a country?
Sure, because if the country couldn't like defend itself, or it can't like renew or reform its image. All the people, if there is no trust between the nation and the government, there will not be trust, and there will not be like a good image, and people will go, they will follow the flow or the fake news.
Yes.
So how can we use this new science or field in improving the image of our country, or any other country can use it?
Okay, one of the any other countries, there is a lot of like
Yes.
successful stories. One of the most successful stories is in Moldova after the Soviet Union.
So before answering this question, we'll go for a short break and we'll be back. So dear viewers, short break and we'll be back, so stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers, and we are still hosting Miss Nehal Ashqar. She is a political communication researcher. So, Nehal, we were talking about how can we use the nation branding in improving the image of the country.
Okay. I was talking before the break about the success stories that I found during my research, and I found that there is a lot of countries that use the country branding, and they use the country branding and branding to improve their image and to bring investors to itself. So one of the most like success stories that influenced me personally was Moldova. They used the idea of soft power. They used the new media as a tool to brand their countries, and they after they left the Soviet Union, they started their own campaigns using the new media and social media to make loyalty to their people. And they use the slogan for themselves, and this is a slogan that brings the people outside. And there's another country that works on each country for branding a country. Each country has to work on its reveal advantage. So one of the the countries that worked on its reveal advantage was Singapore. Singapore knows that it has a very a wide range of human resources and a wide range of different people skills. So they enhanced the people to start and they started a new campaign called Future Skills. Future Skills was one of the governmental campaigns to enhance the people to improve themselves and to improve their skills, because the country knows that it can invest in its human resources and it can export them. One of the other success stories was the United States. It related its name from a very long time with the media and with the manufacturer, and China with the small manufacturer, and it's like human resources.
And Germany with the vehicles industry.
And nowadays, all the countries are trying to connect between their names and between the AI. The AI is one of the most important.
So can you relate here the ties between the artificial intelligence and the branding of the nations?
Okay, so the AI is something has a very common relation between the big data and the robots and all the campaigns nowadays, all the political campaigns nowadays are using the big data and social media and things like that. So those artificial intelligence or those new technologies are being used a lot for connecting the country itself with something that is not normal, and with the information and with the data. And I think nowadays, there's a big war between China and the United States because of the information and who's going to get the information. So it's something so important for any country to rebrand itself.
So, Nehal, tell me about your future plans and how do you intend to use this important issue in serving the country?
Okay. Soft power is influencing me when I was in the university a long time ago. So I will keep working on this field because I feel that the country nowadays needs something like that, needs to rebrand itself. They already started, and it's the very first time to find that Egypt has a sustainable development plan, 2030. So I feel that I can work with the government on something like that.
Yes.
And I'm planning to have another degree, PhD degree.
Yeah, great. Ms. Nehal, can we relate somehow the social media to the country's branding? Because the social media is quite influential these days. We are seeing the presidents talking to the people through the social media. We are seeing politicians. We are seeing stars, movie stars, or icons communicating with the people and their fans through the social media. To what extent here we can consider the social media as an important element in influencing the country's branding?
Okay. Social media is very important. Nowadays, it's more important than the traditional media because it has two ways communication, not only one way. The people are not only receiving the information, they receive the information and they can respond and they can comment and they can add an idea, and they can feel that
videos or whatsoever.
Yeah, they can feel that they are very important and people are searching for something like that. Social media is very important part of branding a country. As you said, the government are using them, and we can relate that to Obama's campaign 2008.
Yeah.
And this was one of the most successful campaigns all over the world when he started using the social media, and he found a very good effect and a very good response from the people on his campaign. And starting from here, the countries started to use the social media. And as I told you, Moldova used the social media by adding a slogan for itself and spreading it all over the world, and people started to share. And we, in our country, we use social media a lot, but we use it in a negative way, not a positive way.
Why from your point of view, we are misusing the social media?
We are misusing it because
countries?
we became like addicted to social media, and we are using it in not a useful way. We are just using it for like comics and sharing. We don't like analyze the news that we are getting. We get any news and like accept it and start spreading
so
them.
it's somehow, from your point of view, a double-edged sword.
Sure, it is. Yeah.
So how can we raise the people's awareness about social media? How can they know whether the piece of news they are reading is right or wrong?
The awareness will, I think it has to be from the traditional media.
Yes.
And yeah, so we can use like the traditional media to support the social media and vice versa. And the traditional media can, like people who don't know how to use the social media, they do believe in the traditional media, and they all the time watch the talk shows and things and those kind of stuff. Those have the credit or have the trust from the people to tell them the negative points of the.
Can we say here that we do have some age brackets for both the social media and the traditional media? Because I do believe that somehow the youngsters or the youth are mainly driven or more influenced by the social media, of course. Many of them, maybe they do not interact a lot with the regular media. So how can we target here the young generation through the positive usage of the social media? Because it might be, as we have been talking, somehow negative at certain point, which we need to correct.
I can remember the last conference that the president attended.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, it was amazing. I like the idea that the one person made like a video, and he like make a comparison between how the video could be made, and how like correct or how right this video is.
Yes, because the social media could be manipulative to a great extent.
Yeah, it is. So I like the idea of the program that he advised Dr. Tamer, or I think his name is Tamer. I can't remember. Yeah, he advised him to have like this kind of program, and I think people will interact with such a kind of programs a lot. And the live and the channels on the YouTube, I think people will search for it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the government has to have a channel, a direct channel between it and the youth from the social media, through the social media and through the YouTube.
Yes. To what extent these youth forums, Nehal, could actually help in creating that very important channel between the administration, the officials, and the youth, in order to have, I think that would be a positive branding as well.
Yes, it is an internal branding, and it's a step from the...
Not only internal, because we do have international youth, we do have Africans.
Yeah, and this is one of the soft power that I was talking about, the education, because I forgot to tell you that one of the most important things that the country is working on the education, the NTA, that are inviting the Africans from the whole
very
Africa.
Successful.
And this is something so common with what happened like a long time ago. The influence of the Al Azhar and the church. So I think it's the same. The NTA has the same influence. I hope it will work. The conferences, the international and the national one, the national ones has like it's very important for the building the trust between the government and the youth, because we have a very huge base of youth in our country. So building building trust between the youth and the government is something very important in internal branding, and this will influence on the external branding, directly. And the international events, it's very important as well. But the problem is it's not like spread ad. It has to be all over the world.
So, what are the steps that should be taken to make country branding a success story?
Okay, so I have some recommendations
Yes.
for this. The most important recommendation is the media, and how to export our media outside, and how to speak with more than one language, because we are leaving the other like those who are making fake news about us. We don't know.
Yes.
People outside don't know anything about what we are doing inside.
How that could be corrected, Nehal? Because we have to be fair here. Most of the media is somehow biased, and many channels or many through the social media or the normal media maybe are paid or supported by certain people or certain organizations. So how can we face these elements who are trying to somehow spread the false information or rumors with the usage of media, either social media or the classical normal media?
From my perspective, I don't believe that there is a free media. Media outside is like controlled by it's controlled by the businessmen, and it's controlled by the overseas huge organizations. So they have like benefits from what is happening, and we can see that affecting us directly. And how can we work on that? We can have our own like center, multilingual center that can spread like our news outside. We can be we can have the own control on our news, on our information that we want to spread outside. And we have very influencing like calibers in the media.
Yes.
In the media, and ambassadors, and the cultural centers all over the countries, all over the world. This is one of the most important recommendations. One of the other recommendations is human resources, as I told you before. And the sports events, and the sport, like what we did with the African Championship. It was amazing, and I think that its influence like spread it all over the world. I could feel it when I was there.
To what extent these championships and these tournaments are a positive representation of branding for the country? Because of course it was a great success, all the preparations, all the matches, how the country is secure, how many figures in the world of sports did visit the monuments here and the sightseeing in the country. To what extent that could be positive for the branding of Egypt?
For sure,
worldwide?
it's very positive, and it has a very good influence, because like we have, as we said before, we linked we had a link between the country branding and the soft power. And the soft power sports are one of the most important factors.
With great icons like Mohamed Salah, like Mane,
and we have like very huge base of human resources, but we don't know anything about it because we just focus on the football. I had a problem because I used to be in the national team, karate national team, like long time ago, and we was envying.
So finally, I'd like to thank you, Ms. Nehal Ashqar, political communication researcher. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our dear viewers,